Welcome back to Persona Q2 New Cinema Labyrinth. Last time, we did 3 special screenings in one video, and in fact, I've actually got through quite a few of them. Have I actually reached 30 at this point? Yes, exactly 30. Which would mean that there are about 15 of them left. I think one of them is the post-game full Velvet Attendant fight, you know, the full-on super boss. So, I've already set my party, so it's time to head back into floor 5 of Giant Black Smudge. Don't worry, soon I'll be able to actually say its real name. But our next destination is over the stage lifts that we lowered by going all the way down to the 6th floor. But first, let's make a quick stop over up here, because we've got a, well, it's the map chest. So the map chest is going to be showing us how much there is left of this floor. Believe me, if I could, I would, Shinjiro. But yeah, it's exactly three rows bigger than the previous 2 maps. But that alone is still a decent expansion. Thing is, we're actually not going to be spending that much time on floor 5, because we'll be ducking back into floor 6 pretty soon after we've headed north. Oh yeah, also here's my party. I've got mostly characters who I haven't used in a little while. I don't know if this will finish the dancer. If it does, we will get... No, didn't quite do it. That is unfortunate, because it means that we might end up not getting the boost keep. Wait, hang on, please don't die to this. Ah! Well, that's a downside of me upgrading from Lucky Punch to Miracle Punch. If that was just Lucky Punch, it probably wouldn't have killed, and, I mean, there's a few things to blame on that. Shinjiro also had, he'd done too much damage before... Anyway, yeah, wasn't anyone's fault in particular, and I knew those dwarves were about to shoot that way. But yeah, that was almost cool. We'll probably get the boost keep at some point. I noticed that it happened during the Kamoshida Man special screening. Well, one of them. The adults-only one, to be specific. But it happened after the last enemy I fought, so it didn't actually matter. Sacred Trinket. I read that as Scarred Trinket for a second. Which I guess could also fit for this place. Now, I believe... Yeah, there is nothing in there. There's one thing I'll say, like, this labyrinth, I do like the overall gimmick, but I do feel like they seem to be overusing, like, pointless dead ends in these last few floors. This is why I think that the first Persona Q overall has better dungeon design than this one. I am finding the dungeon design is better in this game than I thought it was on my initial playthrough. Like, on my initial playthrough, I actually really didn't like Q2 compared to Q1. But I do feel now that, yeah, the dungeon design is better, particularly in AI, I guess. That dungeon I'm liking a lot now, and Genetic Land has its moments. The first Labyrinth also, but though granted, I think it's a little hard to get past. You in Wonderland in the first queue was a very good dungeon. It's definitely a little complicated for a first dungeon. Oh yeah, I have Gunner Pin on Junpei just because I want to, pay homage to his golden, like, his unique Gemini skill back in the first queue. Speaking of that, it was probably a little complicated for people who aren't used to Airtrine Odyssey mechanics, but I really, really like You in Wonderland as a first dungeon, in particular because it actually has, like, 3 different, like, floor themes, and 3 different tracks to it as well. But yeah, AI, I guess, is actually better designed than I thought. I do think that, this dungeon could be a little better in my mind. Like, the actual story reveals with Hikari are good, but there's definitely room for improvement in terms of the actual map design. It actually makes me wonder, though, whether anyone's made an Airtrine Odyssey level editor, because I always got the sense that games like this would just go hand in hand with a level editor. But I don't think I've actually seen one. I think, like, the most people have done of, like, mild ROM hacks of things. Oh yeah, I have room for 20 personas, so I have a couple of personas from, the first dungeon that I really should just ditch, but I want to see if I can make anything out of them in the Velvet Room. So yeah, we're up to about 45, 46% of this place. Also, because people have been asking about it. Yes, I will do that. It doesn't bother me as much as it bothers a lot of people, but, I suppose that actually could lead into, because there is a topic that I really want to, discuss in, like, as we approach the final stages of this labyrinth, and that is, I already talked about my experiences with, autism when it comes to Futaba in Persona 5. The video is called On Futaba and Autism, if you want to, go back and watch that. I'm really proud of my Persona 5 playthrough, to be honest. I think it's actually really good. I'm glad that I'm glad that people enjoyed it. Also, that's another map chest, so I'll preemptively swap it over for a yellow one. Also, hi there! I fought you earlier, but I ran away, like a coward, I guess. But yeah, Wondrous Magus, I need to look up your weaknesses again. Wondrous Magus is weak to Psy, and Elegant Mother is weak to Curse. There's quite a lot of Curse things weak in this place. Also, I don't like it when things are curse weak, because whenever I say curse, it makes it sometimes pops my microphone. Oh wait, hang on. Ken's got Psy. The only reason it wasn't displayed as a weakness was because, I haven't actually, used the weakness on it yet. I would kinda like to... I probably should have pull-limped the back row, but okay. Yeah, a little bit slow on that. It's funny, sometimes the Lexis just are way too slow with their safeguard, and other times they just, use it immediately. This isn't really the fastest of teams, though. Granted, Ken is actually pretty agile, but still. But yeah, again, like, yeah, I talked about my thoughts on Futaba and, like, autism in that part, but there are things I want to talk about when it comes to Hikari, because Hikari definitely, like, with Futaba, it was, well, I would say it's subtle, but, like, I mean, it's subtle in the sense of, like, they don't really, like, I mean, they kind of go into the lived experience of it, but, like, really most of Futaba's issues when it comes to her lived experience simply come from, her trauma over her mother and that whole circumstance, rather than, her heavily implied autism. Whereas, as I've been seeing in this labyrinth, I feel like a lot of the problems that Hikari has experienced in her life are very, very much to do with the whole fact that she's probably on the autism spectrum somewhere. I'm not sure exactly what kind, and these days most people, like, don't like the specific labels. This is something that I'll go into later in this discussion, because I was given a specific label when I was younger, but, it was sort of borderline. It was more just the closest thing they had. But yeah, a lot of people on the spectrum experience, like, Hikari's whole issue is, like, people thinking that she is not normal, or weird, or, you know, belittling her for her hobbies, or for not acting like other children are expected to behave. Okay, yeah, I think Ken's gonna lose his boost status because I didn't guard. However, I might be getting the boost keep on at least 2 people here. Not to stop my tangent, but, like, when Ann says Kare ni Yacha, I'll have to look up whether that's the same Kare as, like, burial rites. Because, I know that, like, that's the reason why a certain plot point in the 3rd Ace Attorney game is the way that it is, although I probably shouldn't talk because it's technically a big spoiler. Regenerate 2. I don't think I really need Patra. He does get True Critical Eye, though, which is nice, and Bound Arts is pretty good. I'm not really running a particularly bind-heavy party, though. You know what? I'm gonna actually... Do I still have Dantalion? I do, yeah. Let's switch Morgana over to that. I'll probably get more use out of that than Ailments with Junpei in the party. But yes, we've got the map chest here, and it's pretty much the same thing. Hello there, tiny little area that I have not even been to yet, but I'll be able to go to because the stage lifts are down. But yeah, basically, it involves somebody misreading, like, Kare, as, like, give somebody magnificent burial rites as, like, Kare, or, like, curry. The way they handled that in the English script was pretty good, I will admit. In fact, I probably think it makes more sense that it does in Japanese. But anyway, yeah, you'll notice that we actually do have our boost kept in this battle. Granted, it depends on whether I can actually take out this fight before the bear gets here. Or that could happen. Thank you, Senpai. Literally. Literally got noticed by Senpai, but normally when you say that term, it doesn't mean the Senpais are jumping in to fight on your behalf. Oh, please don't be the bear. Okay, I have one turn. I can do this. Oh, wow, really? I'm gonna end this fight with that, but it means I'm not gonna get the boost keep. Because no all-out finisher. Oh, at least Ken leveled up. And, I am also make way for the rampaging... Oh, no, I still have another turn. There we go, make way for the rampaging bear. We should be able to get past the dwarves now. I feel like I probably do have to step on those tiles in the middle of this one, but we'll get to that when it comes to it. So, again, just a little dog here with nothing in it. I do feel like the dungeon design in these later parts of this labyrinth is not, like, the best. Like, I think I prefer the 4th floor of the Inaba Pride exhibit, the 4th dungeon in the first queue, even though that one is, like, extremely rough as far as, like, yeah, it's a very, big place. Just like I said in my playthrough of Q1, I would highly recommend, just going through that floor once, just to map out and unlock all the shortcuts, and then trying to solve the puzzle. Okay, so that time the dancer's combo actually worked. But only because it was facing somebody as fragile as Ken. Yeah, despite being technically pretty underleveled at this point in the game, the enemies aren't really being that big of a threat to me. Okay, this is an awkward situation. I do have a revival spell, but the only one who has it is Ken, who is currently down, so I have to go into another fight just to use the infinite use revival on him. And yeah, we're already going back up to the next floor. But I've got to map out this lower area, because once again, we have a dog leg that goes nowhere, and an area that only leads to a treasure spot. But the treasure spots down here are really important. Once again, those enemies were just too flimsy to really get an all-out attack finisher on. I probably need to make space for the knight and mother items, because I do need them for better armor right now. But at least Ken's back. Oh, right, yeah, speaking of making space for things. Okay, yeah, there is Mother Perfume and Night Rains are the things I actually need. I like how all of these have unique descriptions, too. They're surprisingly in-depth. Oh, wow, yeah, we're getting quite a few of these sacred trinkets. I should probably go back and unload those, although I get the sense that after we raise up here, we will have a shortcut that's going to lead... yeah, we're right on that shortcut. But we have yet another shortcut up here. So yeah, we're pretty much halfway through these 2 floors right now, but now that I've unlocked this, good time to unload my stuff, and I'm hoping that these sacred trinkets I got are gonna be that really, those, like, elemental immunities that I heard talked about. Star Dog Suit, okay. Magic plus 4. Not sure I really want that on him, but it is better defense, although it does lower his HP. Okay, still need 2 more Mother Perfumes. And 1 more Night Rains. But yeah, let's chat. Wow, that's a lot of sacred trinkets, okay. Here we go, yeah! Drain fire attacks! How did I not know about these in my first... Plus 20% experience? I mean, I guess the game tricked you into thinking that this is the final floor of the final dungeon, but still, holy crap, these things are insane. I don't really remember these in, like, my first playthrough. Like, how did I not... Maybe I was just too scared of ambushes. But yeah, the plus 20% experience, those are going to be really great for potential grind sessions. Yeah, 20% more money after battle. I'd like more of these drain things. Oh, okay. Oh, actually, no, there's more than one person weak to fire in this party. I'm getting a lot of these lavish badges, though. Yeah, like, to be fair, I do feel like I only really would like one of those per party. Oh, they do sell for a lot, though. So I got 2 Sage Specs, 2 Fire Seal, and a Nuke Seal pod. And they sell for, like, way more than it costs to appraise them, too, so that they make you money. And the Lavish Badge is a straight upgrade on the Lucky Cat. With these two, I can make, like, a very, very wind-tilted persona. Shura Tensei Wind Boost, and I probably want Guillotine Slice. Sacrificing Matador into Mott for a level. And I guess I'll have to sacrifice Abaddon into Garuda to get the Magarula. Okay, that looks, not gonna be that helpful in the boss fight, but against single targets, that looks nice. Mitsuru's motivated right now, but she's higher level than everyone else here. I think I'll stick with this party. I can't wait to get to level 53, because then we have access to Hellbiker, who is one of the earliest source, I think the earliest source, of Bind Art Plus. So yeah, obviously that's something that I really want. So this next stretch is slightly more involved before we get to the next elevator room, so now might be a good time to just continue sort of talking. So I was sort of thinking a little bit, while I was doing all the off-camera stuff, just about, these particular autism diagnoses, and almost feels like it's just kind of a way of singling out people whose methods of socializing don't really fit the norm. That was mind charged. Thank you for missing. Yeah, that wouldn't send me back that far, I don't think. And it's more guaranteed than going for a Vanish Ball. That only happened because I fused away Junpei's persona, leaving him with nothing for that fight, and therefore nothing to, like, effectively hit weaknesses and get knockdowns. Now, there are apparently a few more events coming up. Oh, hi there! Yeah! It's back! The gold shadow of this floor is the return of the Silly Face! And now I probably should switch Morgana back to using Poison, because Poison is by far the most effective thing against these things. But oh well, I guess we can try to fight this regardless. Yeah, Arn doesn't have really anything decent. Or I could actually go for Scarecrow Lucky Punch, maybe. But yeah, like, usually it's just, you gotta use Poison just to whittle down their health until the barrier breaks. Yeah, it is a little bit creepy that this thing's, like, texture disappears, and you can still see the teeth there. I don't know what, there's just something about teeth in 3D models that creep me out. Like, that was the case in Clair Obscur as well. Like, I'm more used to, just... Like, a lot of anime art style games just tend not to have characters drawn with teeth. Or at least have them as just a flat 2D texture, whereas, seeing, like, realistically rendered teeth when characters, like, smile, it looks really off to me for some reason. But, like, the way this thing's, like you know, teeth appear, just kind of, like, yeah, still kind of present while it's vanishing, just reminds me of, all those, hilarious / terrifying Assassin's Creed Unity glitches. Okay, there goes the barrier. So now it looks exactly like the Silly Face from the previous dungeon, also where everybody is... Oh, okay, Ken's not strength down. So yeah, now that its weaknesses are exposed, it is weak to Wind and Bless. So yeah, here we go, Wind Strike Link time. Does drop a lot of money. And then its eyes fall out of its head and roll around on the ground, because, yeah, I'll never get over these enemies. They're always the Silly Face to me. I mean, I've actually been wrecked by them in the past, though. Like, especially the sort of the boss variants back in P3s, like some of the Tartar... Really? You couldn't have done slightly more damage there all at attack and let me keep my boost, just saying. I didn't even need to be level 53. Thank you, silly face. Thank you for bestowing me that gracious gift. I will very much take that. I'll very much take that as a fodder version of Hellbiker that I can afford to just fuse into something else for Bind Arts Plus. I am going to matchmake you with Vivian so much when I get back to the Velvet Room. But also Dantalion, because I would like that, that on, like, full area, bind skills. But yeah, we've got an event here. What's Junpei sighing about? My guess is either Chidori, his butt monkey treatment, or the fact that Atlas didn't consistently localize his catchphrase.
Yeah.
Nope, I was wrong on all counts. Of all of the things, I thought I was bracing myself for being wrong, but I was not expecting it to be him worrying about his backlog. Yeah, this was about the era where people were talking about backlogs, because that wasn't really much of a thing back when Persona 3 original was translated. Well, yeah, in my headcanon, Yukari gets beaten by Junpei in fighting games all the time, so that's why she's annoyed. I was about to say, like, are there any musical theater games? And I was like, oh yeah, kind of, what's it called again? Stray Gods, I think it is? That one's kind of cool the way that it has, like, different paths through every song based on, like, the route you take. And, like, they're all fully sung, and sometimes they turn the song into completely different genres. I get the sense that Arn... I feel like it's a bit stereotypical to think that Arn likes the more, like, dating sim kind of game. I feel like Arn would like something like Animal Crossing. Or, like, yeah, those kind of, like you know... Oh, actually, hang on. Like, what kind of game has you, like, dressing up your characters in lots of different fashions? Like, Yume Nikki, I think? Like, she would love a game like that. No, actually, it was just her casting the hyperfixation spell on all of you.
Oh.
Well, you're gonna be a lot older by the time you can actually play with Futaba, but also don't say I didn't warn you. Granted, Futaba would probably just casually hack the game. Although she'd probably only do it once, though. And yeah, that actually unlocks a new special screening. I remember the term Easter egg hunt. I forgot it was like in the game sense. I feel like Easter eggs have become a bit of a lost art in gaming these days, though. What I was saying in regards to autism was that, like, I've recently been rereading my, and I know that not everybody who has been diagnosed or is on the spectrum... Oh, hi, okay. Did not see you there. Oh, they keep shooting you if you're on the same row. Interesting. But yeah, while I'm running away from dwarves, not everyone has the benefit of having, like, access to their childhood psych papers, but I have been rereading them lately just to find some topics to discuss when it comes to Hikari, and they are interesting. Okay, so they face that way. 2, 3, okay. 1, now I can dodge. But you might notice they're on a stage lift, and we're going to be able to get rid of them that way. Unfortunately, you can't place both an FOE marker and a stage lift marker at the same time. Okay, yeah, I had just barely enough time to get out of there. That is... The Lexi is taking the Link hit for the Knight, even though the Knight was the one the Link was on? Yeah, so... That's really interesting. Oh, I can't do the bind Lucky Punch combo on the Knight because it resists physical. And yeah, that's a problem because I don't have ice on this party right now. And thus, the cruelest way to win a battle, beating up the sleeping baby. But, like, sleep was the way that I could guarantee Shinjiro wouldn't miss even while agility bound. Because I'm pretty sure sleeping enemies always get hit by things. It's just that, like, Confusion does that too, but better. Okay, good amount of main and sub, but nobody learned any skills. Okay, then. So I promised to equip the Ailment Persona on Morgana, and then I realized, oh no, I did get Nidhogg back. Okay, good. So yeah, you can take that just in case the Seeker shows up again. So... Okay, yep, should be turning. And yeah, back here, we have a shortcut. And we also have a switch. But, strangely, I don't want to press this yet, looking at the map I prepared earlier. Okay, yeah, the dwarves are going to shoot me right now, but I actually don't care, because I'll be able to get away from them over here. And then if we head up... Because basically my goal is to get to the other side of that other shortcut that's down below. I always end up with this enemy just barely survives all at attack situations. Which means I don't get the finisher bonus and I don't get to keep my boost. Also, according to my map, I missed an event, but I will be swinging by there again soon. So yeah, there is a stage lift here that would have been up if I had pressed that switch the moment I got to it. Also, Soma, pretty nice. And this, yeah, another dead end. Okay, I wouldn't be able to get that chest if I had pressed that switch, but now I can't go any further forward. In fact, at this rate, may as well just go back K more. Because I can just jump right there via the shortcuts. And yeah, by pressing this, that gets rid of that dwarf family. And, okay, yeah, I was expecting there to be another dwarf family here, but there isn't. So that would explain why that works. So now we can head to the north. But there are more dwarves over there. So I suppose you would have started there. I can color your attack range like that. Okay, yeah, so we're all the way up here. We've got a switch to press. Just want to map out this whole room before I make any more sudden moves. Okay, that time I did get the finisher. Mostly because I lowered the Minotaur's health a little lower first. I didn't want to, I did skip over, the congratulations for Junpei there, but I didn't want to skip over his actual line. And yes, another down stage lift, but fortunately the switch is right here. Now, just like in the earlier floors, the maps I prepared earlier have some of the stage lifts not stepped on, but I still have, like, the floor 100% complete, so I would assume that some of these tiles don't count for the purpose of map completion. Okay, if I do continue down here, I will end up finding... Exactly, plus 1 HP on Suzaku, but... Matarukaja, oh yeah, I was gonna... Oh, that's to random targets, that's not gonna be helpful for the boss anyway. I keep going back and forth on that, but definitely want to keep that as your skill card ability, I guess, even though there aren't really skill cards in this game. And there's Farsight. Technically, that is objectively better than Fortune Hunter. But yes, what I was saying was, if we go down this way, it's a dead end. But there was a dwarfs here. There's a hole now. Which lets us freely step on these. But gotta head around this way, because there are just more holes in the way of the other the other raised stage lift, technically, but they look lowered for us because we can step on them. It's complicated. Okay, that's actually pretty good damage for Miracle Punch. It's definitely better than the base Persona 5, where it was still, like, very small damage. Though he has a different level up jingle for his sub-Persona leveling up? That's amazing! I keep finding more and more reasons to like Junpei, and weirdly I don't want to give up any of these for Invigorate 1. I think Psycho Smash is the highest tier of physical Psy skills. But yeah, there's actually not that much left on this floor, because now we're past here, this is going to lead straight down to the next elevator room. But first, there's a shortcut that we can open here that I want to take because apparently, according to my map, there's an event up here that I missed. Aha! Hello, silly face! I've brought poison this time! I like how the silly face looks all, like, sad while he's poisoned. Oh yeah, it does have Mudo skills, but, like, they're not that much of a big deal, I feel. It does bug me when their armor breaks in the middle of a turn. That's why I didn't specifically go for any... Oh, okay, or Shinjiro could just crit him with a hammer, that's good too. While strength-bound! And then Shinjiro's the kind of guy who probably would still be able to put in work even while strength-bound. Like, he's literally fighting with one arm tied behind his back, because that's what strength bind is. It's called arm bind in Etrian Odyssey. Oh, hi, Tamlin. Heaven's Blade as a sacrifice skill. That is amazing. I believe Heaven's Blade is actually used for literally the final boss party build in the speedrun of this game. So yeah, very important skill to get. Yeah, there was an event here. How did I miss that? Piece of cake, time for a break. What? Oh, okay, right, yeah, Ryuji. I'm used to it already. Ryuji, please don't get a crush on her because, you know Akami. Yeah, this is one of the things I like about that plotline in Persona 4 in the sense that it's like, it just shows that, like, before being an idol, she's just a normal person. Just treat her like a, she just wants people to treat her like an actual friend and just an ordinary human being rather than just a, because like, that's the thing, like, idols are, like, that's encouraged by the industry. You're meant to think of them as these, like, fantastical, higher beings that only exist to basically be like waifus, but which is really disturbing because they're real people. wait, is Morgana secretly a Ryuji Arn shipper? I mean, he probably doesn't mean it like that, but still. Okay, no, it's not the one, yeah. There is eventually a special screening with all 3 of the bro characters, but that was not it. It comes pretty late in the game. But yeah, finally we have the elevator room here. Pretty much went through an entire half a floor without getting one, after the first half of this floor was almost all elevator rooms.
Me too.
Hang on, does that... Okay, so the double attack can backfire if you're hexed. Because you'll take curse damage every time you attack. I do have the extra experience accessory on Shinjiro, because I feel like he was a little behind. Yeah, Junpei has jingles for like everything, doesn't he? But let us move. I thought we were going to move up, but no, we're moving down. Still not right at the end, though. We're going to have to swing by the 5th floor again before we can actually get out. And yeah, we still have pretty much the entire halfway of this floor to go before it's over. And there's next to no shortcut. Also, I see you there, dwarf family, this time. You can't hide from me. So yeah, because of the lack of shortcuts, now's as good a time as any to head back and sell stuff. And there we go, we can finally get the hero's knickers and rune dress. And of course, there's another piece of armor that I could get by getting more Magus items, but I think we're pretty much good for the time being. Basically, all of the physical boys get the hero knickers, and all of the magic girls get the rune vest. Can only make up to level 51 personas, but this gives me, okay, one of the components of Alice. Ailment Arts Plus, and it's your sacrifice ability. Oh, I need that. I need that so much. Okay, we'll probably need to buy back Ranga. I'm actually not sure if Ailment Arts and Ailment Arts Plus stack, but I want to say they probably do. Yep, Heaven's Blade and Poisma on Ganesha, I guess. Don't really care that much about Ganesha itself. Okay, I thought elephants were, herbivores. So yeah, what I was saying before, Vivian... Hellbiker. It just makes Mott. What about three-way? That sounds kind of bad, but also I am vaguely okay with... What about three-way? And one of the results is Mara. Thank you, Atlas and Shin Megami Tensei. Thank you so much for that imagery. I mean, I got rid of my earlier Needhog, so I guess... Bind Arts Plus, Salome's... Is there a better way I can do that? Okay, Bind Arts Plus, Salome's Kiss, Disarm. I will need to buy back Fenrir. Once again, for like a Navigator persona by default, I've made some really good ailment Needhogs. Okay, you know what? I haven't really been able to use this fodder Link skill Seebly, so I'm just going to sacrifice her into Belial. And that still didn't give me ailment arts. I wonder if it's worth paying just to throw a Baden into you too. It's funny, a Baden's the thing with a gigantic mouth, and yet I'm feeding him to other personas. But, yes, Ailment Arts Plus, and it's inheritable. Thank you. Wait, only 10,000 yen for Hellbiker back? That is a steal. Dantalion plus Hellbiker turned into Lachesis. Once more, I must say in this video, how about a three-way? If I get rid of Mott, it's a possibility, but in one more level, I can fuse Mott with Ganesha to get a really good physical persona for the boss fight. Okay, so they do sometimes face the side. Good to know. But they do have a range all the way up to the end of the row. So let's mark things out like that. Thankfully for us, there is a switch that will let us get rid of these annoying dwarves. I remember you giving me trouble earlier. Let us see if Fast Doggo is able to double bind art shut you down. And I have the binds on Koromaru because of his Serene Stroll ability. Restoring SP while walking. Well, got boost keep on my first fight. That's a good sign with this party. But yeah, up here is just a shortcut. However, once again, aha! The annoying dwarves are now floor 5's problem, and we're not there, so... I don't care. Also, the chest is not past this stage lift, so it's totally fine to have it raised. Well, hopefully it is. So yeah, we've got yet more of these stage lift mazes, and I'm sorry I keep getting interrupted with my autism topic here, but in a way it's kind of a good thing, because it shows that, you know, stuff worth talking about is actually happening in the game. Oh yeah, Koromaru's got pretty much all of his SP back, so yeah. He might not have the best luck to use a Salome's Kiss build, but he is pretty fast, and with all the bind arts up, you're probably going to get all 3 binds off with it anyway. Because, like, getting all 3 of the binds of Salome's Kiss essentially means the enemy is completely shut down. Oh look, Abaddon's back again. Guess he really wants me to feed him to more personas. So, like, okay, so I did this childhood psychology test when I was, like, 5 years old. Hi, dwarves. Don't mind while I mark you. Oh, they do turn around. And down here just leads to that chest we saw earlier. And they ranked me on competence levels for various different things, like communication, socialization, daily living skills. And what was interesting was that my communication skills always scored insanely high. Like, I'm talking literally 99th percentile. Like even as a kid, I had insanely good language skills, and that probably goes to show when it comes to, you know, me wanting to talk about games on this channel. Broad shot, heavy physical that pierces. I might actually need that for the... Actually, no, I've got another persona I want to make my physical sort of thing for that fight. Although, granted, for the moment, I don't think I'm going to be passing down to Hiento much. I'm not going to register you, but I'll keep broad shot on you over that. So yeah, but on socialization, I ended up in the slow learner category. The thing is, though, like, I feel like these days I'd probably dispute some of the things that they're testing on, because here's my stance on childhood socialization. I feel like a lot of these early tests were very fixated on having kids be, like, insanely social, like wanting to make friends with, like, literally everybody. And I just don't think that's really practical. And I feel like this is less of, like, an autism diagnosis thing, and more of just a thing, like, when it comes to childhood psychology in general. Because I think, like, even beyond the diagnosis, this childhood psych report is very interesting to me, because it shows a lot of traits in me that I still think I have even now. Because one of the things that it shows me having a deficit in was, like, practical skills. But it was more that I saw those things, like even eating as well, as getting in the way of doing just interesting things in life. Like going outside, building Lego, playing make-believe games, writing stories. Yeah, gonna lower the other stage lift below that set of dwarves. Because this way I can more easily pass by on the other side. So I ended up learning those kind of things later on in my childhood just because I, always had that kind of sense of like, you know, wouldn't life be more interesting if you didn't have to do all of this maintenance? That is not what I wanted to prioritize. Okay, through this door is just an area that doesn't lead to much beyond an event and a, treasure spot, but as we've experienced firsthand, the treasure spots here are insanely good. Does this even work? It does! Okay, well, I mean, that'll at least get rid of the Bambino. Okay, I admit, the silly face does look pretty disturbing with its eyes falling out of their sockets. But yeah, I'll appreciate that, because I normally wouldn't be able to get rid of that Bambino without, breaking this thing's armor. Don't you swim with Yukari, I said. Its armor's not gonna break before she goes, I said. Okay, nice quick kanji. Was hoping for that to knock it down, though. And yeah, that's going to get us the all-out finisher. Nice. Even though Kanji is strength-bound. Oh, you were the one that I was going to fuse once I hit level 52. So I'm gonna have to get rid of you either in a sacrifice or in a just a foddered fusion. But yeah, when it comes to children socializing, I feel like there is genuinely a difference between being an introvert and being outright antisocial. And I think that should be respected more. I feel like this, like kids who don't want to, like, you know, be extremely social with other friends and just make friends with every single person, and maybe who want to just have a small number of closer friends, that shouldn't be considered a psychological issue that needs to be corrected. Oh, no, I know what this is. I'll explain this once we get to the end of it. I feel like, instead, we should be focusing on, like, if the kid is genuinely being malicious to other children, like, bullying them, belittling them, insulting them, that's when you need to step in and correct the behavior. And I think that's what the psychologist should be flagging more, rather than just having less interest in socialization. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Different people socialize differently. Some people don't want to just be like, hi, 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 to every single person they meet. And that's okay. Just like with Hikari's whole story, like, everybody is different. So I do feel like this was the 90s, and I do really appreciate these childhood psych evaluations because they're otherwise really good, but I do feel like that that is an aspect that maybe, yeah, should be looked at a little bit more. When it comes to, like, autism spectrum diagnosis, I think you should focus more on the things like hyperfixations, and what's interesting is, like, a lot of these papers said I exhibited behaviors like arm flapping. The term we use now is stimming. That was not a term back then. Also, back then, they thought that only boys could be autistic. So that's just something. I think it's just like girls were just better at masking it. Like they just kind of went under the radar. But anyway, I'll continue that topic after I've finished this conversation, because I'm pretty sure this is going to unlock something. Because, yeah, Makoto, Chie, and Akihiko are all, like, sort of, physical appendage brawlers. I'd say that they were hand-to-hand brawlers, except Chie uses her feet. Yeah, well, martial artists! Physical appendage brawlers? There is a word for that, and it's called martial artists. Wow, I am dumb. That was actually one of the things the psych papers listed, though. No, not being dumb, but they listed that I can often express my ideas in multiple ways. Because one stereotype of being on the spectrum is repeating yourself. Apparently, I didn't actually that much, but it's more that I could express my ideas in different ways, which is kind of rare for a kid that age. And yeah, Makoto's definitely a good planner. She kind of became our planner once we, you know, got her in the party in Persona 5. Yeah, she'd make a relatively decent coach, but Junpei does too. I feel like Junpei's better as, like, a kind of more of a, like, you know, I would say psychology-related coach, more in the sense of, like, Junpei's probably better with kids than Makoto is. But Makoto's good for devising the plans and training regimens. Wait, that's not... Okay, maybe it unlocks when you go back to the ticket booth, because there is a special screening that involves all three of those characters. It requires you to beat the bear FOE. And even at this point, that is a really rough fight. It's one of those special screenings that a lot of people just leap into when they first see it, only to get incredibly bodied.